course, the thing isn't staying. Anyhow, hi guys, welcome. Okay, so I had this, I get this question all the time about spell work, right? And about spell work. I had a girl contact me and she said to me, okay, well, what I need you to do is I need you to get him to have no other women in his life. I need him to call me, text me, and FaceTime me every day. So I need you to make that happen. Okay, now we got to be realistic. And, you can't, like, imagine if you were on the opposite side of that. Imagine if you were the target of somebody else who wanted you or expected you to not have any other men in your life. No other men. I want no other men in his life, in her life. She needs to text me every day. She needs to call me every day. And she needs to FaceTime me every day. How would you feel? Like, that's a huge burden. That's a huge responsibility to put on someone because you need them. Okay? So the energy of needing something, the energy of desiring something, wanting something, longing for something, desiring something, all of that energy goes out into the universe and creates a lot of resistance because we have been put in this world with free will, which means you have a decision to make every morning to whether or not you're going to get out of bed and go to work or whether you're going to stay home and pull the covers over your head. Every morning you decide if you're going to eat a healthy breakfast or if you're going to eat donuts. Every morning you have a chance to decide if you're going to go to the gym after work or go to the bar. The decision is yours. So we can't interfere with somebody's free will to that extent. Okay, so let's just say, for example, and a lot of times when people contact me, they're already in a desperate state. And it's not a judgment call. I've done desperate things in my life too. I've felt desperate before. I've been through it and I've told stories before about stupid things that I've done or things that I felt in the past. And it's through all my studying and my growing and my own spiritual journey, I've learned what I need to let go of. Now, in yoga, one of the limbs of yoga is about detachment, and the idea is that anything that you hold that you can't detach from is inevitably going to bring you unhappiness because you can't control it. So you have to learn how to detach from things. So a stupid example, but my car had to go to the dealer once for whatever, and they'd given me, I drive a Beetle, they'd given me a Passat, and it was just not my car. First of all, the Beetle's kind of like a bubble, so I don't know, you don't have to like bend down, like I could just get in, I don't know, my head clears, and the Passat, I kept hitting my head on the way in. The Passat was bigger, I just wanted my car back. But that's being attached to something. When you're attached to something, inevitably you're going to be miserable. So what happened? The loaner car, even though I should have been grateful that the dealer had given me a loaner car, the loaner car made me miserable. Okay? So anytime you need something, you want something, you're longing for something, it's going to make you miserable. It just, that's the energy of it. Like, we're here, we have free will, we have the choice every morning, right? When I pull out of my complex, I have a choice to make a right or make a left. If there's too much traffic coming, a lot of times I'll make a right. I'll make 3 rights instead of making 1 left. It takes me to the same place. So the idea of spell work, I will always suggest to people that if you're going to do a spell, number 1, you can do it yourself. You don't have to pay somebody else to do it. If you decide to pay someone else, but for a few reasons, you live home with your parents and your parents are devout Christians and they don't believe in that kind of stuff, okay? Or your parents don't want you lighting candles in the house, whatever the situation is, or you don't know, you just feel like, sometimes I felt in my life, I don't read my own cards because I feel like I can't be clear enough with myself. I can't detach from the situation enough, so I would rather go to somebody else who can read for me, and I would rather pay them. That's just my personal thing. As far as spell work is concerned, I always suggest going with the energy of the situation. So if you're in a situation where somebody is ignoring you, they told you they don't want to be with you anymore, they have broken up with you, they've moved on to somebody else, all those would be reasons where I would suggest not doing it, because it's going against the energy of the situation. In a situation like that, I would suggest that you do a healing for yourself, or you do a cleansing for yourself, so that you can get past the situation, because that hurt, the negativity, all that stuff needs to be cleansed before we can move forward. Regardless of whether or not you're doing spell work or not, getting into another relationship, you want to be clear. You want to be clear and clean from the previous one. You don't want to bring that garbage into the next situation. But if somebody is wishy-washy and they text you one day, they don't get back to you the next, or they promise you that they're going to meet up with you and then they cancel plans, things like that. But the relationship is somewhat moving forward, then I would say to do a simple candle spell or to do a honey jar spell, it's not going to hurt anything. And it's not like you're summoning up the devil and you're trying to kill anyone. You're just doing a love spell. It's not, I don't believe that it's anything that's bad that's going to hurt anything. But my suggestion is to go with the energy of the situation. If the situation is very negative, I would think about doing a healing spell on yourself first, clearing your energy, because the desire, the want, the need, the desperation is going to push that person further away. And I've said this to people before. Like, I had somebody contact me once, and I did a healing spell, and I'm not even kidding. The whole candle was black. It was smoking. It was, the candle was white, and at the end of it was like a gray because there was soot in it. And it's just, there was so much resistance. And I said to her, I go, my suggestion is to just leave it alone. Just stop for a. And she was like, okay, well, tell me how to clear the resistance. What do I need to do? Stop. Stop obsessing over this person. Get busy doing something else. Stop. Like, that's what you need to do, but nobody wants to hear that. They want to do something that's going to fix it. Can't make somebody love you. You can manipulate them. You can buy them. You can intimidate them. You can threaten them. You can do all these things to get what you want out of that person, or to make them do what you want, but you're not going to make them love you. So the only way that you can get love is to love yourself first and have boundaries. So a lot of people will contact me with things like we're friends with benefits, or we're not really together, but we kind of hook up every now and again. Now, I understand, I mean, and everyone's been in those situations before, but you're not going to get a relationship from somebody. You're not going to get a commitment from someone and get a full relationship if you're already giving them everything that they want and they don't have to do any of the work. So it's like, like my mother would say, no one's going to buy the cow if they could have the milk for free. And I would have argued with her until I was blue in the face when I was 17. But I understand what she means, because it's like, if I don't need to be held accountable for my actions, but you're still going to give me what I want, why would I ever say, okay, now I'm going to be committed to you? You know what I mean? Like, you're already dealing with somebody who's putting a very minimal effort in, and you're giving them everything that they want. So setting up boundaries is healthy, and it gives you respect. Like, you'll get respect from it. You're not going to get respect from somebody if you're giving them everything they want and they're giving you nothing. Now, once again, the relationship has gone out of balance. It's like the person that texts their interest every day. The interest never responds, or they respond with brief answers, or 3 days goes by before they answer, but they keep doing it. They keep doing it, right? The balance has gone out of it's gone out of alignment. Relationships work because they're balanced. Once it goes out of alignment and somebody becomes the rock star on the stage and somebody becomes the groupie, it's very hard to bring that balance back. So the best thing I can suggest is to disappear. But you really have to disappear. You have to cut your energy. You have to stop talking about them. Stop asking about them. So people will say to me, well, I want to know when he's going to call me. I pull my energy back. You didn't pull your energy back if you're asking when he's going to call you. You pull your energy back by forgetting about him. Get busy doing something else. Don't consult the tarot cards. Don't talk to your friends about him. Don't drive past his house. Don't look on his Facebook page. Detach as if he does not exist. What he does no longer affects you. It has no effect on you. You just turn the corner like he's never existed. That's cutting the energy. Otherwise, the other person can feel it. The other person can feel that you're still there. And not that it's not always simple, right? Because we have things that come up that remind us of the person. There is songs come on the radio, or we drive past where they work, or whatever it is. So you live in the same town as them, or you run into their mother. You know, there are reasons why we have a hard time detaching, but you do your best. You avoid them. You don't reach out to them. You don't talk about them, because the talking about them is keeping their energy very high. You know, it's you're sending a lot of energy out about this person when you talk about them, even if you're just talking to your friend. So my suggestion is for anybody that is considering doing a spell, go with the energy of the situation. And if you're coming from a place of desperation where you feel like, oh my God, I'll do whatever it takes. Just tell me what I need to do so that I can fix this. That is it. Number one is the spell isn't going to work if you're coming from that place, because your intentions got to go out strong, confident, and more about taking care and loving myself rather than I have all this love I want to give you. Oh, I want to give you all this love. That's a lot to dump on somebody, and it's a lot to make somebody else responsible for your happiness. Nobody else can make you happy but you. So if you're thinking about doing a spell, there's nothing wrong with doing a candle spell. It's not going to do anything crazy. You're not going to have bad karma. You're not going to summon the devil. But think about it in the opposite direction. If I were the target of somebody else's spell and I wasn't interested in them, or I didn't want to be with them any longer, and now all of a sudden they're performing spell work on me and they don't want me to talk to other women, they don't want me to look at other women, they don't want me to, you know, I got to text them 15 times a day and I have to voice call them and everything else. Think about how demanding that is, like putting that energy out into someone and putting that burden on someone. That's a lot. It's a lot. And relationships don't work like that. When you need somebody constantly, there's a red flag that there is a wound inside you that this person is just temporarily healing. And it's not about them, it's about you. Everything always comes back to us. You might think it's because you love this person. You may think it's because you need this person, but it's really just covering up a wound that's inside you. And we all have them. Nobody doesn't have them. Some people express them differently. Like sometimes they're different from the other. And I will explain that in another video when I talk about narcissism versus ego and the soul people. And that's for another video. Otherwise, these videos are going to be too long. All right. That's about it. So my suggestion, go with the energy of the situation. Think about how you can heal yourself first. Think about whether or not you're acting out in desperation, and see what you can do about cutting the energy to them, regardless of whether or not you do a spell. Stop thinking about them. Stop looking at them. Stop obsessing over them. Don't drive past their house. Don't talk about them. Cut the energy completely and let's see what happens. Best thing you can do is get busy doing something else. Something that makes you forget them. Where you really need brain power, like doing a puzzle or putting a piece of furniture together, where you have to read instructions and your mind is focused on what you're doing and it can't think about this other person. Who's she with? What's he doing? Where is he? Is he going to call? Like, you want to detach from all of that madness, and then that's when the energy starts to change, and then that's when you kind of start back at a clean slate. So that's my suggestion. I hope that that's helped, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks. Bye bye.